him go against Cormier and RAF. That's what I want to see.
Are you gonna do it,
bro?
Bro, I have severe arthritis, and most people don't know that. My left hip is covered in arthritis.
Damn.
I actually already qualified for a hip replacement.
Oh shit.
My last training camp, dude, I went to bed in so much pain.
Well, UFC gonna cover it though, 100%.
I have a 3-year-old baby boy, and I want to use what I got left with my hips to play with his ass.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to Duality 7X. I'm your host Shiraz. Welcome. Guys, we have some breaking news for you guys. In fact, yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's about Jon Jones. And I mean, he just confirmed what many fans actually feared. And almost nobody in the media, nobody really wanted to come out and actually talk about this out loud because of the gravity of the story, of the context behind Jon Jones' recent statement. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, yes, the hip replacement is real. And this isn't a retirement announcement or anything along those lines. And yes, this might actually be probably the most honest moment of Jon Jones' entire career, guys. And so let me just kind of set it up for you guys, or help kind of frame the context of what I'm trying to talk about here. But there was definitely a private conversation. Okay, there was a leaked clip, and suddenly the MMA world is asking some very uncomfortable questions. Is Jon Jones finally done? In a statement, okay, shared through TMZ's Michael Babcock, the UFC's probably most polarizing legend, Jon Jones has indeed revealed that he needs a hip replacement, okay? And this is an injury that doesn't come from having one bad night, okay? This is years and years of accumulated damage inside the Octagon, guys. Like, I mean, for what these combatants do on a day-to-day basis, the umpteen number of hours and hours they're spending and training in the gyms and putting their body through so much wear and tear, the dieting, the cutting, the training regimens, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot to endure. The average person could not even live even a day or two in a UFC fighter's or in an MMA fighter's world. Okay, so look, in this statement that Jon Jones had, revealed, this is pretty shocking stuff. It's pretty damning, guys. And look, Jon Jones, he didn't deny any of it. He didn't try to spin it or try to manipulate his words to make you think anything other than what was leaked, what was out there. He kind of owned up to it, guys. And you know what? This is why I say this is probably one of the most honest moments that we're getting from Jon Jones. And he himself referenced this injury as battle scars. Okay, he acknowledged that fighters often suffer quietly, limping through every day, lifelong, after the camera shut off, arthritis, chronic pain, wear and tear. I mean, this is the invisible tax of what it means to be a great in the Octagon. And I'm not just talking about MMA, guys. I'm also talking about what it means to be a fighter in combat sports, whether it's mixed martial arts, boxing. Guys, there's so much that happens behind the scenes, so much that these fighters have to endure on a day-to-day basis that many people don't even know. Most often the case, you see these guys fight maybe once, maybe twice a year, if that, and then maybe a few storylines that circulate, or maybe a couple, you see them at some pressers that are leading up to the fight, and they're usually looking pretty good. But nobody sees what they look like all the other days of the year. All right? And Jon Jones himself, he made one thing evidently clear, that he has zero regrets. And if given the choice to do it all over again, he said he would gladly do it without hesitation. Now, that's not just pure bravado, guys. I mean, you know, this guy's got some serious cojones, but that's someone who understands exactly what the price was, knowing full well what he was getting into, but paid it willingly. That's the difference. Many people want to. Many people would love to. Many people like to be living, or even at least have lived or have the opportunity to live one day in these guys' shoes. And when they do, they can't hack it, guys. They just can't handle it. So, yeah, I mean, Jon Jones, he's a legend. He's an all-time great, probably one of the best fighters. He also addressed the media. He addressed the fans. He addressed the growing criticism surrounding his inactivity. And, you know, some fans are chiming that, you know, he's kind of slowing down, you know, he's picking his spots, you know, that he's trying to avoid any kind of potential major risk. And Jon Jones calls that evolution. You know, he's like, look, it's not fear. It's not decline. It's survival. He's trying to survive. And he openly admitted that UFC knows the extent of his arthritis, and that if he's going to endure that level of pain one final time, it won't be just for another payday. It has to be meaningful. It has to mean something. All right? So now we talk about the White House fight, right? And we talk about, I mean, you know, like, the White House fight is not a rumor. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen in June. It's going to happen on America's 250th birthday, and it's an event that's in the planning to be one of the biggest sports entertainment events ever on American soil, and it's going to be broadcasted through the world. Everybody's going to get the opportunity to see it, and every major mixed martial arts combatant, especially UFC fighters, are going to do whatever it takes to get on that card. Okay? This event to commemorate America's 250th birthday is going to be a huge honor for a lot of these fighters. And all that to do it in front of the President of the United States, the administration, all the celebs and execs and the VIP clients that are going to be sitting front row watching this. For a lot of people, this is the Super Bowl of their career. So guys like Jon Jones, I mean, this is not legacy padding for them. This is more about kind of like symbolism. I mean, if Jon Jones walks into the Octagon, all right, one last time, he wants it to be historic. He wants it to be, as I mentioned, meaningful, not just profitable. It's gotta mean something, guys. It has to. Jon Jones has money. Okay, he's not desperate. He wants, he's choosing legacy over dollars right now. He wants to be there on one of the biggest nights in UFC history to commemorate America's 250th birthday. He wants to fight on that card. I have a feeling it's going to happen. The question, though, the $60,000 question is going to come down to who is he going to fight? Who is he going to fight? The other question comes down to is, what happens if he wins? Then do we see more of Jon Jones? Is he back in the UFC for good? You know, is Dana going to cut him a one-day contract to come back to the UFC to fight one match and then that's it? Or is he going to give him a long-term contract again? But, I mean, that means John's going to have to put his body on the line like he does each and every day all over again to maintain his status in his division. So, look, even injured and older, all right, he still believes he's better than 99% of the roster. All right, look, some people may call it trash talk. according to Jon Jones, that's just a reminder to everybody who he still is. All right, and that guy's, honestly, that cuts through everything. All right, so look, let's just zoom out for a second, guys. I mean, Jon Jones has effectively retired after defeating Stipe Miocic in 2024, guys. He was stripped of the heavyweight title in 2025, and then quietly, he re-entered the UFC's drug testing pool and started to throw some signals out there of his intent to wanting to come back. And the UFC, okay, look, despite what a lot of people say about his relationship with Dana and how it's potentially strained, that's all noise, guys. That's the stuff we see. You guys don't know what's actually happening behind the scenes. They're pretty good friends, okay? Look, people are going to say a lot of stuff about one another, all right? Promoters and fighters are going to always be throwing jabs at each other. But they have a different kind of a relationship, right? You have to be able to comprehend that kind of a relationship. And the UFC understands what Jon Jones is capable of. They understand his star power. They understand what he brings to the table. The fans, the views, the excitement, and more importantly, the hype. That all equates to big dollars. So the UFC is no dummy when it comes to Jon Jones. And if they were just like, yeah, no, we don't want him at all, and he's this and he's that, and I'm not happy with him, I don't trust him. No. That's just the media trying to spin unnecessary, unwarranted noise just to distract us. Okay? The UFC absolutely, undoubtedly loves Jon Jones. And they love Jon Jones being on the UFC card at the White House even more. Okay? But for the first time in Jon's career, and he's saying this quiet part out loud, that health comes first. Right? And a lot of guys starting to kind of creep up there in age are singing the same tune. All right? Because the last thing Jon Jones wants to do is to be in a situation where he potentially does something insanely crazy where his body suffers for the rest of his life. Okay? So don't call this a comeback. He's been there for years. This is not a comeback story, guys, and it's not a farewell tour either, at least not yet. At least not from what I'm hearing and reading. This is Jon Jones technically drawing a boundary. Okay? A fighter who once burned through the competition, the opponents, fighter after fighter, and now choosing when and if the final chapter actually gets written. And honestly, guys, I think that might be probably the most dangerous version of Jon Jones we've seen or we're about to see. I'm excited. I think it's going to be wild. I mean, whether the White House fight happens, the card happens or not, I mean, there's still a lot of, I think it's going to happen. But there's still a lot of things that they have to iron out, that the kinks, the amount of money that has to go to repairing the White House lawn after the event. And I mean, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, they're going to get it done. Trump wants this. The administration wants this. The White House, the fans, they're screaming for this. The fighters want to be on this card. They want to fight. They want to fight at the White House. They want to celebrate America. They want to commemorate and celebrate America's 250th birthday. Why not? Why not do it at the White House, right? What better place to do it at? So whether this fight actually happens or not is irrelevant. Jon Jones' career is already cemented. His legacy is cemented. He's legendary. And yes, it's complicated. It's unmatched. There's a lot of storylines and context associated with that. A lot of layers of, moments and complexity that goes to Jon Jones' career. But which UFC fighter doesn't have the same? Okay. You have a lot of issues and concerns and all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, Jon Jones can hold his chin up high, knowing that he's built a legacy for himself and he's not chasing dollars, whereas a lot of fighters are. He's actually chasing legacy. He can dictate the kind of fights that he wants. the kind of matches that he's open to. So the question really comes down to is, can he fight again? Right? Because it's whether that moment will be worthy of the cost. And that's something that is out of our hands, but it's more the ball's in Jon Jones' court. So guys, it's a wild story. It's sad. I mean, hip replacements are never easy. They're very, very tricky, very, very hard to go through. And I mean, just if he needs a surgery, he's going to probably have to do it after his fight at the White House, because he's not going to be able to get his hip replacement surgery now and then try to heal up in time for the White House fight, because he's not going to have enough time. So anyways, guys, that's all I have. I want to hear your thoughts and comments. If you guys like this real fight talk, real fight analysis, and if you enjoy and like and hear what you see, please smash the like and subscribe and hit the notifications so you never miss a beat. And guys, as usual, the pleasure was all mine. I want to thank you guys for joining us, and I look forward to catching you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about UFC London, the card that's going to happen at UFC London, Lerone Murphy. Guys, there's a lot of I'll save it till tomorrow, but I look forward to catching you guys later. Enjoy your night.